So this is a new version of Triumph Tiger 800. It just came on the market. This is XRT version. Let's find out how it is. So this is the model for 2018, and we have here today the model XRT, which means that this is a little bit more road focused with alloy rims, 19-inch front in front, and the T means that this is a full specification. It is almost everything you can imagine, like a windscreen adjustable in 5 positions. We have here a comfort seat with which is heated in 2 positions or 2 levels, heated grips. We have here LED lights, and central stand, and almost like a USB and 12 volts connector, and loads of things you can ever imagine. So I'm very proud to have a possibility to review it today. So it happens very often on adventure bikes that 80 or 90% of time we spend on the road and not in off-road, and so that's why we have here this versions with alloy rims. This have 19-inch front in a 19-inch front wheel and 17, and you can see the road tires. So this is really good on road actually, but it still has some off-road capabilities if you want, because we have here a fully adjustable suspension, front fork by Showa, 43 millimeters diameter. That's quite nice, like a standard in the group of alternatives and competition. And if we look at the travels, we have 180 millimeters in front and 170 millimeters in rear shock, which you can very easily adjust here, and it's done in 1 minute. If you look at this, travels, it means that it has a little bit more than, for example, V-Strom 1000 and Ducati Multistrada 950, but certainly not the same as you can find on a proper adventure bike such as Honda Africa Twin or BMW 850 GS. So this is kind of a category of competition you can find this motorcycle. In terms of brakes, we have a 2-piston dual disc Brembo in the front and 1-piston Nissin in the rear with ABS, of course. And this was very fun because I thought that this will be the first thing I will say. This is not maybe, there are better brakes on bikes these days, but I have to say they do a really good job, even with the Pillion 150 kilometers per hour, and just it's enough. It's progressive. You feel the brake, and it does a great job. I wouldn't need to upgrade it. So for this year, they upgraded a lot of things. Some of them are, based on the specification. You can buy the motorcycle. So I'll put the link under my video, and you can download the full specification of all the versions. But a few things you will see, because they said that they did 200 changes on this. So you can see the new design, new TFT display, the windshield, which is great, the new exhaust with better sound, and it's a little bit lighter and nicer. And there are also some changes on the engine. So if you look at the engine, this is 800cc 3-cylinder double overhead cam engine. It still has the same specs as the previous version, and they just said that they did a short first gear, better for enduro riding, and the engine should be a little bit smoother in this version, in the low range of RPM, and that's mainly it. The new exhaust, but that's mainly it. Let's check the sound right now. Very good, and now you can hear it. Probably the Triumph Tigers, and you know this 3-cylinder, but if you not, this is a big difference between this one and almost all the other adventure bikes, which usually are 2-cylinder, like Africa Twin or BMW 800 or 850 GS. And this is a big difference. This is a little bit way more sportier, and it's just a big difference when you go with a group of these people and they're like, oh, this is strange. It's not like a two-cylinder, and that's true. This is, yeah, it's more sporty. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other one, but it's up to you. If you like this one, here it is. It has 95 horsepower, the absolutely the same number as you can find on Africa Twin or BMW 850 GS. But of course, the characteristic is different. And when you go here on Gran Canaria, there are places where the Africa is faster, especially again with the low range of RPM. It just has to be, you know, 1 cylinder less and 200 cubic centimeters more. It has to be faster somewhere. But in a right, you know, revs, you are the same fast, and you will probably enjoy more fun on this one, because especially the 3/4 of the RPM range on this motorcycle are just awesome. If you check the torque, it has 97 Newton meters in 8050 RPM. But you know, this is just the maximum level of Newton meters of torque. But very important is that this is a 3-cylinder and it has like 85% or 90% of torque all the time from 2000 to the ref limiter. So this is really nice. It's a pleasure to ride it, I have to say. Maybe the consumption is slightly higher than on Africa Twin or BMW. Like I normally do like 5.8 liters on this per 100 kilometers, and whereas in Africa I would do 5.4 maybe. So I don't know if this is a very important argument for you, but it's important to know. Now, let's check the comfort, right? So of course the bike is now on a central stand, but I have to say I feel really nice. It's like, if you don't see the 800 somewhere here, you would think like this is a really big, like, you know, travel bike. Like the big tank, especially here with the plastic covers right here, amazing color by the way. And then the windshield in the highest position. I simply really feel like on a BMW RT or any other huge muscular, you know, like a road bike. So this is really nice. And I don't know, like here is almost everything in this version. It's quite expensive, to be honest. Like this is a XRT, the leading version, but you have here heated grips, very nice handlebar, 28 millimeters, and they're about 77 centimeters wide, if I do it the measurement right. You can adjust the levers, both of them, which is nice. The 5-inch TFT display, you can adjust the skin you want, you know, your revs to be seen there. So that's nice one. You have tempomat here. So in terms of comfort, the position of foot pegs is brilliant. So it's very comfortable for me and for the passenger. So look at these holders; they are really massive. So yeah, I mean, in terms of comfort, you can hardly find any disadvantage. Maybe the mirrors, they are not you know, like super big. And so probably there are better mirrors on the motorcycles, but that's just a very tiny thing. You have here a 12 volts connector and the other USB stick under the seat, which you can very easily access. And so this is also very nice. So yeah, so this is cool. So let's go riding. So welcome to Gran Canaria. It's around lunchtime, 12:30. The weather is beautiful right now in the beginning of April. It's really a pleasure to be here today with a new Triumph Tiger 800. And I have to say straight away that I really enjoy the motorcycle. It's a lovely combination of the, you know, like off-road capable motorcycle with a really good wind protection, so it's really capable to travel long distances, and all the way connected with the sporty kind of feeling from this 3-cylinder engine, which is here, which is you know, from street triple, but of course it's changed and upgraded. It only has 95 horsepower, the same as an Africa and BMW 800 GS, but the torque is higher and you need to rev the engine, but it's damn fun. I like it so much. The suspension is absolutely okay, even when riding two people. Very capable, very sporty. The brakes, the Brembo in the front, the ABS works beautiful. It's just 2-piston, but it works nice. 5-inch TFT display, so I set it up my own kind of profile, so everything is sport. I only didn't turn off the traction control and ABS, and I have to say this is a very modern motorcycle, and these electronic systems here works really silently. You don't know about them, and you can in any situation you can put the full gas almost, and nothing really happens because the traction controls works really kind of discreet. It's different than I remember from Yamaha Tracer 900, and this is really cool. What else? This one has the shorter first gear to be, you know, easier to work in off-road, but I think, you know, from 15 kilometers per hour it's good, but once you want to go very technical passage, you know, like 12 kilometers per hour or something, it's still probably not enough, and it still will work. 2-cylinder will be easier to operate for most of people. But this is great combination of kind of street bike, enduro, sport bike. It's quite capable in off-road as well. It's very fun to ride it. But you need to rev it high on more than on Africa Twin, for example. That's for sure, and for someone would be a downside, for someone would be a big advantage. So one thing which is not that good is this joystick. I mean, it's very good, but if you have just one bike, you'll probably very quickly get used to it. But if you have 2 bikes or more, I think that changing the bike will be a little bit difficult, because there's loads of buttons, and I always don't know whether I'm putting the turn lights or I'm changing something in the menu. So that's another thing, but this is really small downside. Overall, I really enjoy today. As I said, the consumption is a little bit more higher than on Africa Twin or twin-cylinder motorcycles. In my situation, it's supposed to be up to 1 liter, but again, it's worth it. These bikes are very different. I'll be also doing the proper review, like in-depth review of the Africa Twin. But so far, this new model of 800 Tiger, I really enjoy. It's very good to compare it also with XSR 900 or Tracer 900, which has 20 horsepower more, and you feel it. And for someone, this could be the disadvantage, but I have to say that it just has enough, you know, almost 100 horsepower, and I just don't miss, you know, like these additional 20 horsepower more from a Yamaha engine. It's nice sometimes when you go 2 people with luggage and maybe on a long way, but in almost all situations this is very good and very easy to operate. The throttle reaction is not that nervous as it is on a Tracer, so that's another big advantage, I think. So this bike is definitely more user-friendly. No vibrations at all. hardly to find some serious downsides. So maybe the weight, it's 205 kilos dry weight, so again it's almost the same on any like Ducati Multistrada or Africa Twin or BMW. They're all like plus minus 3 or 4 kilograms, so this is not a difference. So again, it's almost it's really only about your taste, and if you like this, you know, like this feeling to have enduro, which is more sportier and has this amazing 3-cylinder engine, and you sacrifice, you know, the torque, like the massive torque from the low end, which usually 2-cylinder offers. Here it is. So this is the highest version, XRT, and I don't use much of technologies which this bike offers, because it's just right now, because it's beautiful weather, and like I don't need heated grips and heated seat and fog lights and everything. But I already tried, because you know, the weather is constantly changing here in Gran Canaria, and it's really it works really cool. It's really friendly. It's nice to have it here. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you very much. So this was very nice 3 days here in Gran Canaria. Really enjoyed it. The comfort was nice. The engine is different than on Africa Twin. Same fast probably. And now it's very, very important, like what do you like more? If you want to be a little bit different and a little bit more sporty, and you want to rev your engine sometimes, here it is. Otherwise you should pick some of the 2-cylinder, you know. I don't see the weak parts on this motorcycle. Maybe the price, because in this version it's a little bit more expensive than the competition. But once you start to, you know, upgrade Africa Twin or Ducati Multistrada or V-Strom, you will get very simply that the price will be very simply higher. Yeah, the brakes, I thought there will be a weaker part on the motorcycle. There are not. The suspension does a great job. Foot pegs, everything is nice. So really, like, it's very difficult for me to find a, you know, downside of this motorcycle. I wouldn't buy it personally because I really like to go off-road, and it can done, you know, this can certainly do it, but I would really prefer 21-inch front wheel, spoked wheels. So that's the thing for me. But this was really nice. Hopefully I'll be able to test the XC version as well. So thank you very much for watching my channel. I'm working on you know, new things for my channel, a lot of specialties, not just normal bikes which are currently on the market, but just stay tuned. There'll be good things. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.